Welcome back to the Seattle Seahawks review. The Seahawks beat the Baltimore Ravens 35-6 in another blowout victory, in which they did last week against the Minnesota Vikings 38-7. This team is different than the Vikings, not as good as you might think, but they are a pretty good team overall. All games this season have been decided by 8 points or less in their first 12 games. So obviously they are a decent team. They just don't have the record to prove that. The Seahawks, on the other hand, played well today and deserve to win in every category. As we look at some stats here today, what an amazing game from Russell Wilson. He threw 23 of 32 for 292 yards and 5 touchdown passes, something he's been doing recently a lot. It's been tremendous to see this from Russell Wilson. He's playing the best football he has ever played in Seattle, and that's how it's been the last 4 weeks. It has been tremendous to watch. It's been amazing to watch, actually. I mean, I can't believe how he's played the last few weeks. It's just been amazing. I can't believe it. He's been the greatest quarterback for the last 4 weeks, no doubt, and especially with his passer rating, which I believe today was 139.5. It's just been great for him. He's played really well, and his receivers have played really well. We look at Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett having great games once again. Lockett, 6 receptions, 104 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 49-yard long touchdown for Tyler Lockett. And then Doug Baldwin, 6 receptions, 82 yards with 3 touchdown pass receptions. So it's been amazing for them. Kerr, 7 receptions, 74 yards. So overall, the offense has played well, and they have played well enough to be considered one of those elite offenses, if you ask me. They have just been completely great these last few weeks, and obviously these last 4 weeks have been great, but at the same time, it's something we've never seen as Seahawks fans. Seahawks fans have not seen this good of an offense for years. The offensive line is playing well enough, and it's just been an awesome time to watch the Seattle Seahawks dominate the way they have been dominating lately. And we look at the Baltimore Ravens here on offense. Clausen didn't have a bad game. He threw for 274 yards, 23 of 40, with no touchdown passes and 1 interception, which went to Richard Sherman. And then his receivers, Kamar Aiken, he had 5 receptions, 90 yards receiving. Jeremy Butler had 7 receptions for 72 yards receiving. And Daniel Brown had 5 receptions for 47 yards receiving. So overall, they didn't play a bad game when it came to offense. They couldn't finish drives. The defense stiffened on the Seattle Seahawks side. It seemed like we would give up big plays, but we would stiffen at the end and only give up 3 yards, which was good of the Seahawks to do that. So we look at total yards here. 424 for Seattle. Baltimore had 302. Seattle had 1 turnover in this game. Baltimore had 2 turnovers. Let's go ahead and talk about Luke Wilson for a second here. So Luke Wilson, he drops a ball in the end zone, wide open in the end zone. So Wilson could have had 6 touchdown passes today and probably 300 yards. Wilson drops the pass in the end zone. The very next play, DeJuan Harris fumbles. And when DeJuan Harris fumbled, that was just crazy. I was just freaking out like, what is going on with Luke Wilson? But that's even a bigger subject here. We look at Rawls. Thomas Rawls out after a half of a quarter, it looked like. To me, if I can relook at the stats, I'm not really sure. But 6 rushes for 44 yards in half a quarter. Playing a great game to start, and he gets injured. Truly sucks. I hope Thomas Rawls is all but well when it comes to the next few games. We don't really necessarily need him next week for the Browns, but I would love to see him back out there in uniform, because it was sad to see him go down like that. I thought it was a lot worse than just an ankle injury, and I hope that it isn't worse than what I thought it was, because I thought he tore his ACL. Both of his legs went like sideways. It looked really bad. I'm glad that he's good to go, or at least I hope he's good to go. I'm not really sure of what happened to him. Soon, Pete Carroll will obviously inform you of that information. It's 1:18 p.m. as I am recording this, so I haven't really watched any of those press conferences or anything like that. So Rawls is out of the game. Hopefully it's not too serious. But overall, Seahawks played absolutely great today. They played like a team that is destined for another Super Bowl run. I really think that this team is going to get back there. And, I think Russell Wilson should be put into that MVP conversation. Cam Newton's been playing great as well, but Russell Wilson has been playing better than any quarterback in the last 4 weeks. 16 touchdown passes with no interceptions. It's been great to watch. And Russell Wilson is probably going to continue this in the coming weeks. I know that because he's got the Browns next week, and then he has the Rams and the Cardinals. The Browns and Rams, He should be able to have some good games against them, along with the Cardinals. Over these next 3 weeks, I'm predicting them to go 3-0, and the Seahawks move to 8-5. So when we look to the playoffs, they are probably the most feared team in the NFL right now. Defense has to stiffen up a little bit. There's too many blown coverages going on all around the field. They've got to stop that if we want to be a team that's going to win the Super Bowl. Because at the same time, yeah, they stiffen. But giving up 3 points can come back to haunt you at certain times. When it's late in the game and you're tied 24-24, you lose the ball or something along those lines, team kicks a field goal, and you're essentially eliminated from the playoffs. So this team has got to stiffen up on defense and play a little bit of better defense in some areas. Obviously, they played great today. They gave up 6 points. That's not something that teams give up. Not many teams give up that little of points every game, and the Seahawks have done it back-to-back weeks. They've only given up 13 points the last 2 weeks. It's been great to watch. I'm proud of this team. I really hope you guys are proud of them too. It's been amazing to see this. They are continuing their role of this hot streak. And we look at the rushing stats here today. Terrence West only had 5 carries today for 16 yards, and then Javorius Allen had 8 carries for 14 yards, and then DeJuan Harris for us had 18 carries for 42 yards. Didn't play the greatest of games, but he filled in for Thomas Rawls. Seahawks got over 100 yards rushing. So we're breaking stats. We're breaking records all around. And the Seahawks are playing like Super Bowl champions once again. And I'm glad to see it. The offense is the best it's ever been. The defense is starting to get back to that form of where they were in that 2013 season. So I'm excited for the future, or the present, I should say. So I want to know what your thoughts are on the game. The Seahawks played great, and they're going to continue that next week, I know for sure, against Cleveland Browns. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, a comment, pause, subscribe, and then I will see you in the next one, as the next one should probably be a Seattle Seahawks franchise in the very near future. Hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next one.